Alright there guys, welcome back to another video. Back at it again at Kennedy. Wasn't to try to vlog at fucking Pickle Park today, but couldn't because there's kids running around and I didn't need, because I recognized like 3 or 4 kids that were there. I recognized them. I didn't want them to be like, well, what happened to your red bike with the whips? I tell them I sold it for 10 times as much as what you were going to offer me. And then some. I'd be like, they'd be like, what happened to your red bike with the chains? They'd be talking about my whips. They're stupid. They don't know. I'd tell them I sold the bike for 10 I can't fucking talk. I tell them I sold it for 10 times as much and then some of what they were going to offer me for just my whips alone. They're like, get all pissed off. I'm like, hey man, people offer me real fucking money, real fucking hard-earned cash for my shit compared to you going to your mom or your dad. And the reason why I say that is because I know that they'd go to their mom and dad and ask them for the money for the price of my whips. I'd tell them $200 for the whole set, no negotiations. They're like, okay, we'll be right back. And if they're like, well, we can't do that, I'm like, then I'm sorry, you got to leave me alone then. And if they're like, oh, come on. If they tried bartering, I'm like, no, I told you, no negotiations. And I'm not flexible on my price. Setting you guys down, I got to tie my shoes. I told you guys that I'm not negotiable on my price. Why do you think I tell you guys firm on the price? They're like, yeah, you got a good point. I'm like, I know I do. I know I do. Most of that is just, price is just going to cover for the paracord alone. Most of that price is going to cover for, like I said, paracord, because there's some that I spent, over $1 on. I spent, I think after taxes, like $5 or $6 on some of the paracord I had there. For two of the whips that I used the paracord for, I know it's $5 or $6 because, for each piece of paracord. But still. And then I got to factor in my time, which I value my time to make that shit. And I have thought about, for every old set that I bought or used, I thought about seriously selling each whip for $5 a piece, $10 a piece. And the key rings would go with it. Or with them. Or, no, that wouldn't be right, because I'd need key rings for each new set that I make without having to buy any. Then I'd sell each set, each piece, it'd be, a lot of 8, $5 a piece. If I sell one piece, it'll be, 8, 7, 6, it'll be a lot of what, the lot number will be going down. And the price will be going down for the whole lot. I'd sell it as the whole, the whole lot would be, let's say, let's do $10 a whip. let's do 80 for the whole whip, for the whole set. Need key rings. I put in the ad, perfectly handcrafted, weathered and worn, because I have rolled with each, with these I'm a mountain bike for however long, which I think the first set was like 3 years, I think. I had rolled with the first set for almost the whole integrity of having the green fat tire. I think I've had that set for, I think, almost as long as I did the green fat tire. And then I sell that set, sell the second set, sell the third set, fourth, all the way up to where I stopped riding, which matter of fact, believe it or not, I just retired a set early. Because I was getting tired of how shitty it was looking because of the 2 whips. Or no, 4 whips, sorry. Half the whips I had to are getting shitty because, or I had to retire because they're getting shitty. So now I'm running on a new set, and I wanted to show through the rest of the way being ashore, or the camping season, which September I'm not going to be able to ride at all because of Dee Dee being out for her knee. So I'm not going to be able to camp at all in September, which I may be fucking quitting, I don't know yet. So, I don't know. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here and do a little bit more of the hood tour episode. So, I'll see you guys in the next video.